Welcome to Miracles of Kindness, where real-life stories of compassion and hope come alive. Today, you'll witness an incredible moment. A billionaire walking by hears a poor single mother pleading, "Please save my daughter." What happens next will shock you and remind us all of the power of kindness. Stay with us as this life-changing story unfolds. It was a rainy afternoon when a billionaire walked down the busy street, lost in his thoughts. Suddenly, a desperate cry pierced the air. A young mother, tears streaming down her face, pleaded for someone to save her daughter. "Please, please help my child," she begged. At first he kept walking, hesitant, unsure. But something in her voice stopped him in his tracks. He couldn't just walk away. Not this time. Her daughter lay sick at home, weak and frightened. Every doctor's visit had ended with worry and no solution. The mother had exhausted every option. She clutched her child's tiny hands, praying someone, anyone, would come to their aid. Little did she know, the person who heard her cries had the power to change everything in an instant. The billionaire paused, struck by the raw desperation before him. He saw the mother's eyes, filled with fear, hope, and absolute helplessness. Wealth had never felt so powerless. In that moment, he realized this wasn't about money, status, or pride. It was about one life, and the chance to do something truly meaningful. Without a second thought, he stepped forward. He called his private doctor, arranged immediate care. The streets around them seemed to blur as urgency took over. Every moment counted. The mother could hardly believe what was happening. Someone had actually heard her plea, and they were acting. This wasn't a fairy tale. It was real. Tears poured freely down her face as she looked up at him. "Thank you. Thank you so much," she whispered, her voice shaking. The billionaire smiled gently, a silent promise to do everything he could. At that moment, the distance between their worlds seemed to vanish, replaced by shared humanity, hope, and compassion. But just when relief seemed near, a shocking twist emerged. The child's condition was far more serious than anyone had realized. The billionaire didn't flinch. Instead, he leaned in, calm and determined, reassuring the mother that her daughter would get the best care possible. This was no ordinary act of charity, it was a life-changing decision. People nearby watched in awe as the billionaire guided the mother through every step. Some whispered in disbelief. Others gasped at the kindness unfolding before their eyes. What had begun as a desperate plea had turned into a powerful reminder. Compassion doesn't ask for wealth. It only asks for action. Days later, the little girl smiled for the first time in weeks. Her laughter filled the room, a sound the mother had feared she'd never hear again. The billionaire watched quietly, knowing that this small act of care had rewritten a family's story. Hope had returned, stronger than ever. Later, he reflected on that rainy afternoon. In a world full of transactions and deals, this moment reminded him of what truly mattered. Human connection. One plea, one life, one choice. And the impact was beyond measure. Wealth could buy many things, but kindness, he realized, could change everything. The mother held her daughter close, whispering words of gratitude she would never forget. The billionaire walked away quietly, his heart heavier, yet fuller than ever. And in that fleeting encounter, a simple act of compassion became a story that would inspire countless others. Remember, sometimes, the smallest decision can create the greatest miracle. If this story touched your heart, remember, the smallest act of kindness can create the biggest miracle. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Miracles of Kindness for more inspiring stories every week. And always believe, one person's compassion can change a life forever.